Hi, I'm Rod York with RYE Corp, and I'd like to take this opportunity to thank you for purchasing the Fab King. I think it'll be a wonderful addition to your shop. First, I'm going to go over the machine itself. Basically, the machine is what they call a cantilever system that works on a 3-axis system with a manual raise and lower. The machine is made with hardened A2 stainless steel, so it will rust. It's very important that you keep this machine dry and keep it oiled every night. We recommend mineral oil. The machine is set up with a table. It's on a 3-point system. The table is adjustable. It's fixed point here, adjustable here, and adjustable here. This allows you to adjust your granite to be completely perpendicular with the travel of the head. This allows for precision edge profiling and for bowl cutting. It's not critical on the bowl cutting, and once you get the machine set to be level with the travel, then you won't need very many adjustments to set and align the machine up. When you receive the machine, the first thing you need to do after unpacking and unloading is to level the machine using the levelers that are underneath each leg. It requires a 3/4 inch wrench to do that. Using a level doesn't have to be perfect. What needs to be leveled is the travel of the head to the table. The machine will come with 2 locking arms. Unbolt them using a 7/16. Also, there will be a 7/16 bolt that will hold the motor from traveling X to Y. Loosen those, level the machine, plug it in, hook up water, you're ready to go. Electrical. The machine requires 220 single phase, no neutral, 20 amp service disconnect. Most states require a plug or disconnect within view of the machine. Ask your electrician for local codes. To open the box, simply use a screwdriver, flat edge, a dime, or whatever you have to open the box. Inside the box, when you receive it, will be an owner's manual, 4 of the necessary wrenches to do the tooling, and the quill necessary to doing the sink cutout. Also inside the box is the inverter and the fuses. The inverter is computer controlled, should say RDY for ready. If it does not say that, then there is something wrong. If by any chance you're running the machine and it stops, before you unplug it, open the door and take note of what the error code is showing. To reset it, you must unplug the machine for at least 2 minutes to let the machine discharge and reset itself. Okay. I would like to talk to you about the operation of the machine. Very simple. Stop, start, and speed control. There are no digital readouts of speed or control. The only time you turn the machine fully clockwise to 10,000 RPMs is to cut a sink. No other time should you increase the speed to that. Most other options are full counterclockwise or low RPMs to do polishing, drilling. The only time you would go anything different is when you're edge profiling, where you might want to be at 12 o'clock. So again, full speed for cutting sinks, 12 o'clock for doing edge profiling with your diamond tooling, low speed for everything else, drilling, polishing, or whatever you're doing with the machine. Water control, 2 types of water, through the shaft water and halo water. Most tooling comes with through the shaft, which is necessary to keep the diamonds cool. Some tooling does not have through the shaft water, and you'll need halo water. I also use halo water when I cut a sink out to keep water in the bowl. That helps cut down on splash. Raise lower, very simple, hand crank. Again, less gizmos. Hand crank operation with a friction brake. I use the friction brake to keep the hand crank from moving for when I'm doing a sink or when I'm doing edge profiling to keep the head from raising and lowering. Again, very simple operation. The machine comes with a bowl hole catcher, which is used when you use polishing wheels to do the inside bowl polishing. If you're going to polish the bowls by hand, we don't recommend that you use this item, because what this does is increases possibility of blowout on the bottom of the bowl as you cut it out. Since there's no support under the bowl cutout, it has a tendency to break and blow out the bottom. So again, if you're going to polish them by hand, we recommend you don't use it. Also, the machine comes with 3 brackets. These brackets are for backsplashes. We'll go into this later, but basically you put the backsplash on the front, clamp it down to the machine, and you can use the head, a Stone Pro polishing head, to polish backsplashes. Most people think that half of the price of this machine has gone into the backsplash polishing because it makes it so easy. Maintenance on the machine is very simple, but like any machine, it needs to be taken care of. If you do not dry these rails every night and oil them, they will rust and be hard to move the machine back and forth. Once a month, there are 7 points on the machine that need grease. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Once a month, they only need 1 squirt of grease. That's it. All the other times, just put a little oil on them, and that's all you need to do as far as maintenance. The only adjustment on the machine are the bottom roller wheels on the travel. These wheels are eccentric. They are adjustable by turning the flats on the adjusters, loosen the 9/16 bolt. You can literally adjust the cam rollers to be tighter against the bottom rail. Literally, that's the only adjustment on this machine. Okay, let's go ahead and cut out a sink. I've found a few secrets in cutting out sinks and doing templates over the years, and maybe I can pass these along to you. Set the granite up on the table. You'll notice that the granite is about a ½ inch above the metal. We do that on purpose. This allows us to clear the metal and not set actually the granite on the steel to steel. This way it's all setting on the wood. Our templates are made standard 2x4s. The 2x4s that are in here are just standard 2x4 studs cut to 27¼ inches. The frames that we use to hold the template above the granite, I have 2 types. I have the smaller one for my vanities, and I have a larger one for my kitchen sinks. I do this on purpose. I literally use this frame for all my vanities and the large one for all the kitchen sinks. And all the outside dimensions of all my templates are equal to this frame. All my vanity templates are all so that they fit onto the wooden frame exactly. Again, the reason I do this is so I can use multiple templates with the same wood frame. The reason for the wood frame is to keep the template above the granite. You have to do that, or if you start cutting a sink, a new diamond will literally eat the template material. The reason being is to keep the diamond template above it. Okay, let's go over the quill. The quill is made with an end cap. The older quills had little C-clips that held everything on. This is a stainless steel quill. You can buy a $40 cheap quill that will probably rust in the machine and be very hard to take out. You may regret. This is $189. This also has a water flute in it, so at 10,000 RPMs I can literally grab this brass piece and it won't hurt you. This piece holds the brass part up, and then the diamond holds everything together. And this is the quill for cutting out the sink. Once you have the template onto the granite, use C-clamps. Most important thing, do not clamp to the metal. Always clamp to the wood. So it's wood, granite, wood, template. Slide up, clamp. Same thing on the back. Slide up, clamp. Again, the most important thing is you do not want the template to slide on the granite. If this slides during the cutout process, you'll have to start all over again. The material that I use is called HDPE. That's short for high density polyethylene. You may also use UHMW, which is ultra high molecular weight Teflon, but it's more expensive. HDPE I found you can find online. I found it at a company called usplastic.com. They sell it in what they call HDPE sheets. This is 3/8 of an inch thick. I cut most of my templates out myself. It takes 10 minutes. Just like cutting corian, you mount the template to the sink. You cut this template out using a router, sand it off, and it'll last you for years. We've used this for 5 years. We've yet to hurt it. Once you get the template in place, you have the quill inside, and you're ready to cut. First thing, every morning, start the machine and slow. Always start and stop in slow RPMs. First thing in the morning, turn it on, let it run for a minute. These bearings have to work yourselves in when they're cold, so it's good to go ahead and break them in each morning. You'll notice this side of the machine has a red tube. This is a drain tube. Do not hook it up to this. This is just a vent for the bearings. If you hook this to that, you will put water in the bearings and ruin the motor. The water unit on top is designed to run wet or dry. That's why we pay a little bit more for them. But this is the only thing on the machine that's not under warranty. Do not run anything but clean water through this union. Gray water will eat it up in no time. Again, once to start to cut the sink out, start it up, go to high speed, and start step cutting. Okay, let's cut out a sink. I'm going to go through the process with you and the rules. Rule number 1, play with it. When you get the machine, get pieces of scrap, have whoever's cutting out sinks to cut a few sinks to get the knack. It's like any other machine, it takes a little bit of technique, a little bit of rhythm, and it's very boring. So first and foremost, play with it. Second rule, let the diamond do the work. Do not force it. Basic operation cutting a sink is what they call spiral cutting. Each time you go around the template, you're just taking a little more material each time around. So make the diamond do the work. The other side is make sure the diamond is doing the work. If you can't hear this motor actually straining a little bit to cut, then all you're doing is just skimming across the granite and you're wasting time. Also, don't be too aggressive. If you're having to really force this thing around the template, then you're being too aggressive on the downward pressure. You need to just go ahead and scratch a little bit off at a time. This is probably one of the most boring jobs in the shop now, but it's also the least as far as skill requirements go. Alright, during the cutting process, what you're going to do is always keep the quill against the side of the template during the whole process. If you do not keep it against the template and you let your mind allow the diamond to just stay in the groove, it will eat the brass sleeve that holds the, it'll eat the silver sleeve that holds the brass sleeve up, and you'll be replacing it. So make sure it stays against the template during the whole process. Again, this is just boring as watching NASCAR with no wrecks. Each time around, lower the handle a quarter turn, a third of a turn. It depends on how hard the granite is. Ubatuba, Santa Cecilian, a third of a turn each time. Absolute black may take less than a quarter. Again, it's all technique. And again, as you go around the front, around the template, each time you do, pass the finish line, give it a turn, go around again without stopping. Again, this is technique to be able to reach up, give it a turn without stopping. So continue to go around the template and do not stop. Now it won't hurt if you stop. All it will do is drill a small hole so that the next time around you'll feel a clunk clunk as you go through it again. You do this process for about 5 to 10 minutes until you are almost through. Now, once you are 1/8 of an inch from the bottom or less, that is when you punch through and you do the last 1/8 of an inch with the side of the diamond. We do this to eliminate blowout. Because downward pressure is continually onto the piece, we sometimes blow out or break off the bottom of the granite. So when we're cutting with the side of the diamond on the last bit, which is hard to push around, it will eliminate 90% of your blowout. The way to tell if you're almost through is to put your finger in the cutout that you're doing, and at the crease of your finger on the cutout, and if you cannot touch the bottom, that means you've cut 1 inch away and you have less than 1 inch or 5/16 of an inch left to cut out. Again, once you get to that point, you'll cut it out and you'll be done. At the end, turn the motor back to slow, slows down, hit stop, and you're done cutting the sink.